No, I would most certainly say none of these things are really priced in if you look at the market and how it has been trading here in Frankfurt, but also pretty much all over Europe as well as over in the United States, the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones. They have all over the last couple of months performed really, really well. So they have very obviously not priced in any of the risk and any of the uncertainties that are looming. That is certainly true for the incoming President Trump, but also for Brexit, and specifically here in Europe. Brexit is by no means priced into the markets. Over the last couple of days, specifically over the weekend, we heard that now even Theresa May, British Prime Minister, is shooting for a hard Brexit. Now, to many British people, that might come as a surprise, not of course to anybody else in Europe, because it has been said to the Brits ever since the Brexit vote that if there is a Brexit, that it will have to be a hard Brexit. It was only some people in Britain's financial sector and the political class there, they were hoping they could have a so-called soft Brexit, exiting the EU. That means, of course, but not losing access to the common market there. Everybody else in the EU, all the other member states, of course, had told them that there will not be any such cherry picking. There will not be a freedom of movement of goods and services with no freedom of movement for people. And that is a reality, it seems, that has now reached British politicians as well as the British financial sector. And that, of course, comes now with a lot of uncertainties, but absolutely they have not been really priced into the market at all.
So that leaves a lot for investors and traders to consider as we get along with this very important trading week in the new month, in the new year. Again, the final week to Trump's inauguration and a raft of earnings reports on Wall Street. General Electric will be reporting on Friday. Bank of New York Mellon will be reporting on Thursday. A number of other earnings, big numbers, will be coming in for this week. So do you think the earnings, Lars, do you think these earnings will trump Donald Trump's inauguration, anxieties for investors and traders in Frankfurt and elsewhere?
Well, look, I think the upcoming earnings season is definitely important. When we talk about earnings in general, you're looking at numbers, you're looking at facts that tell us how the companies are doing and how the economy is doing. When, on the other hand, you look at Donald Trump, the incoming American president, we're not looking too much at facts right now. We hear a lot of talk. We hear a lot of hot air. We have more questions raised than answered, obviously. Nobody really knows what Donald Trump's presidency is going to shape up like. That is certainly a lot of insecurity here, uncertainty for the market, and a lot of unanswered questions. So they will probably overshadow earnings just because the market doesn't like uncertainty. Just today and over the last couple of days, Donald Trump has, of course, often attacked the industry globally. American companies that produce in Mexico. Now, over the weekend, he has attacked German automakers, saying that they too will be subject to tariffs of about 35% if they want to produce their goods in Europe or in Mexico and sell them in the United States. The German automakers don't like to hear that, but nobody else likes to hear that as well, because this is not only about the automobile business. What we are hearing here from Donald Trump is that he is not a friend of an absolutely free trade, a free market trade. And everything, at least in Wall Street's opinion, from Wall Street's point of view, as well as here in Frankfurt, everything that is pointing against an absolutely free market and free trade is breaking, is slowing down economic growth in the United States as well as globally. And that, of course, hurts all sectors of the economy and is definitely bad news. So over the next couple of days and weeks, the big question is, will we hear any more details from Mr. Trump? Will we find out what he really is planning to do and what he is doing?
A very interesting time lies ahead. Finally, the World Economic Forum 2017 begins tomorrow. So give us a snapshot of GW TV team heading off to Davos. I'm sure they will be on the ground as we speak by now. What to expect from, what's your take from these events that you're covering? What are your expectations of the proceedings as we look to the IMF releasing the latest World Economic Outlook update in about an hour from now?
Yeah. Well, it is absolutely exciting this year what is going on in Davos. It's an exciting meeting, and it is for Deutsche Welle too. We are actually there with a dozen reporters, and we will have more coverage on the details of the World Economic Forum in Davos because we do cover it this year not only on television in the different languages, but also on social media. We have a huge social media presence there. That is Facebook Live, as well as Twitter, of course. So from our standpoint at Deutsche Welle, we're very proud that we can have that coverage in Davos and inform the entire world using different channels here. When it comes to Davos specifically and what is going on, the responses and responsibility, responsible leadership, that is the big headline in Davos. And of course, that is all directed at Donald Trump. How does the world, how does the global market respond to the Donald Trump presidency, and how can other countries maybe jump into a leadership void that very many people expect to see over the next 4 years? That is, of course, the main question in Davos. Another big question is, how do we fight inequality? This time in Davos, inequality plays a bigger role than it has ever been, because inequality was put at the very top of the recently published global risk report. It is the most important risk that the planet faces these days, the growing inequality, and a lot of people will be speaking on different ideas how the world can fight inequality the way we have seen it over the last couple of years. What factor does technology play? Technology,
I guess we're going to leave it there for today.
Make things better, but in many ways also make things worse, or at least more dangerous in terms of inequality. A lot of questions will be discussed over the next couple of weeks there, and we're very excited to have coverage of all the answers that will hopefully be brought up.
Thank you, Lars Holters. We thank you very much from Frankfurt Stock Exchange for Channels Television. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.